Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Simisola Atikun. We start off with business news. Nigeria has emerged as the top fourth contributor to intra-Africa trade, behind South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire and Egypt for 2023. That's according to a report by the Africa Export-Import Bank. The Africa Trade Report 2024, titled Climate Implications of the AfTA Implementation, disclosed that Nigeria's intra-Africa trade decreased in 2023 by 2.1% to $8 billion from the $8.2 billion in the previous year. Nigeria's imports from the rest of the continent remained relatively low, constituting less than 2.9% of its total imports. According to the National Bureau of Statistics Foreign Trade Report for the last quarter of 2023, Nigeria's top 5 trading partners in terms of import were Singapore, China, Belgium, India, and the United States. The value of imports from the top 5 countries amounted to $9.72 trillion. In 2023, the value of intra-African trade decreased by 3.2% to $192.2 billion, compared with a 10.9% growth rate recorded in the previous year. Senators are proposing to increase the powers of the Central Bank of Nigeria to enable it to use gold to strengthen the country's reserves. According to a report by financial firm Bloomberg, a draft bill before the Senate has put forward a raft of policies that, if passed, would make the CBN the automatic off-taker for all the gold produced in the country, alongside a goal to make the precious metal at least 30% of Nigeria's external reserves. As of November end, gold accounted for 4% of the nation's reserves, which currently stands at $34.8 billion. In June, the Senate passed for a second reading a bill for an act to make provision for Nigeria's gold reserve industry. The bill, sponsored by the lawmaker representing Kogi Central on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, is seeking a robust framework for the harnessing, exploitation and marketing of gold. We'll take a break and return with company news. Stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Top-tier banks in Nigeria, First Bank, United Bank for Africa (UBA), and Zenith Bank have joined other banks on Zone's decentralized payment network. Zone, Africa's fastest-growing payment infrastructure company, said this in a statement where it announced partnership with 3 of Africa's largest and most prominent financial institutions. CEO and co-founder of Zone, Obi Emetarom, says having some of Africa's largest and most reputable financial institutions underscores the growing trust in its technology and ability to deliver on the promise of reliable, frictionless, and universally interoperable payment experiences. Zone recently obtained an $8.5 million seed funding round led by Flourish Ventures and TLCom Capital, and the launch of its decentralized POS payment gateway, Zone POS. Zones Management says that integrating with the company's regulated blockchain network, UBA, Zenith Bank and First Bank, along with other financial service providers already on the network, will significantly enhance their payment processing capabilities. Still on company news, Saudi Arabia has raised a total of $12.35 billion from selling more shares in Aramco after increasing the offering in the world's most valuable oil company. The success of the share sale and additional proceeds is expected to help further fuel Saudi Arabia's ambitions to invest in new industries and win its economy away from oil under its Vision 2030 plan. The kingdom also raised an additional $1 billion after exercising a green shoe option, which allows banks to place more stock when there is demand from investors. In June, the government sold a 0.64% stake, or about 1.545 billion shares in Aramco at 27.25 reals, equivalent to $7.27 a share. Another 154.5 million shares were placed via Merrill Lynch, which was acting as a stabilization manager on the deal. Aramco's shares have risen 3.3% since the offering last month, trading at 28.15 reals. We'll take another break, and when Money Matters returns, I'll have a financial expert on the program to discuss the dominance of agency banking in Nigeria. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Not in my country.
Hello. Alahaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello? Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I'll just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we're in Abuja.
Keep quiet. Who told you you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Well, in recent times, agency banking, point-of-sale agents, that's POS, and other innovative financial models have played a pivotal role in bridging the gap and ensuring accessible financial services for individuals who were previously underserved in Nigeria. A recent column in the Nigerian FinTech Report reveals that a significant portion of Nigerians, approximately 50.3%, rely on banking agents, including mobile money and POS agents, to receive funds. Additionally, 44.4% of Nigerians utilize these agents for sending money, while 2.9% utilize their services for bill payment. Moreover, 2.5% of respondents reported using banking agents for the convenient purchase of airtime. These statistics underscore the widespread usage and versatility of banking agents among the surveyed population. On the other hand, the rise of POS agents has been remarkable, with their numbers increasing exponentially. These agents have penetrated every corner of the country, providing access to financial services that traditional banks struggle to offer. Well, let's get thoughts on this trend. I'm now joined by a financial expert, Bolahon Olojede. Thank you, sir, for sparing time. Now, we agree that the widespread presence of agency banking is part of the federal government's way of catering to the unbanked in the country. And what's your rating of the government's financial inclusion efforts so far?
There is no doubt about the intention of government. The CBN in particular has been an arrowhead of financial inclusion in this economy. and it has been consistent in the way it drives, or it has been driving agency banking in the industry. And I think it is succeeding largely. We have seen how literally all the banks have adopted agency banking across the length and breadth of the nation. We have also seen how fintechs have enabled financial inclusion. I mean, you can literally do banking without even knowing where the head office of the bank is, or without having ever seen the branch of the bank. So it's revolutionary, and I think a great measure of success has been recorded on this initiative.
How then can Nigeria leverage the rise of fintech companies for economic progress?
You see, the fintechs have introduced a more nimble approach to financial service provision. So there was once a time when you needed a branch of a financial institution near you to be able to do financial services. The fintech has totally removed that out of the way. You don't need any branch. You don't even need to know the head office. You don't need to know to see a physical location before you can consume financial services. Beyond that, issues around validation of identity, the application process for facility, everything has been streamlined by the fintech. So what they are bringing to the table is a much more efficient channel of delivery on one side, as well as a much more cost-effective operation in terms of the fact that they don't have branches, they don't have to hire plenty staff to do what they currently do. So they are changing that space. They are making financial inclusion to expand, and they are furthering the initiative of the government as far as financial inclusion is concerned.
Now, in your opinion, what is the future of agency banking in Nigeria?
The future looks very bright. The number of agent banks that were around 2 years ago has probably grew by nothing less than 25–50% the following year. And each year, they keep expanding and growing. New agent banks are coming up. New fintechs are coming up all around the country. So the future is bright. Of course, there are teething problems. A number of them have run into some trouble, but it's all part of the learning process. They will learn from those events of the past. They will become stronger. Of course, in the process, some of them will be weeded away because they might not be able to survive what they have encountered. But generally, they will get more strengthened, and we will see better service delivery from this segment of financial services over time. So the future is brilliant.
Let's now switch to the preference for POS financial transactions nationwide. Despite competition from other financial services such as e-bills pay and mobile money, POS transactions continue to outperform the rest, solidifying their position as the preferred method of payment. Now, what factors would you say facilitated this development?
I think the ready availability of these guys, literally everywhere you turn, you find them there. It has tremendously given the POS people some sort of advantage. Don't also forget that as a people, we still believe so much in cash. So a lot of retail level kind of transactions, in fact, most of our retail level kind of transactions still happen involving the use of cash. So, and the POS readily make this cash available. So people don't really, a lot of people, consumers don't really mind. The fact that they are there everywhere you turn, and so the convenience is right there. And then the fact that a lot of our transactions are still largely cash-based. So you now have a good combination of cash being available and conveniently at the same time. So this is the major advantage that these POSs have. above other means of financial inclusion that is around us, or that are around us.
So far, POS terminals account for 26.37% of fraud incidents in 2023. That's according to a fraud report by the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System PLC. Now, apart from a CAC registration requirement for POS businesses, what other measures do you think can be taken, implemented rather, to check fraud?
The registration is one. Then definitely there has to be a structured more structured regulatory control over the activities of this POS people. This CAC is just one. The owners of agent banks themselves have to be involved in regulating their agents, because these people are said to be agent banks, so they are representing institutions, so those institutions themselves have to be involved in in regulating the activities of their agents. At the same time, it will get to a time when I believe the CBN itself may consider specific circulars that are targeted at that end of the market, so that we can have we can begin to sanitize the regulatory environment around the activities of these people. At the same time, we have to be conscious of the reality that when a new product, when an electronic product comes into the market and it is receiving the kind of attention that the POS have been receiving, there will also be tendency for people who want to game the system, who want to cheat, and who want to steal. So the security, the cyber security consciousness of the operators themselves has to be top notch. And whatever the regulators can do in the space of education, educating these people about cybercrime and how they can prevent it, will go a long way to ensure that they don't lose as much money as they have in the past.
So finally, do you foresee a time when ATMs, that's automated teller machines, will be phased out in the country due to the dominance of POS terminals?
I don't think so. I think they will always I think ATMs will always have their place in the financial services. Don't forget that even in the more sophisticated environment across the world, who have adopted POS, extensive POS usage years upon years before we did, those ATM machines are still in existence. It is like saying, will the presence of online newspapers stop the printing of hard newspapers? It has not happened. Of course, a lot of people read their news online, but there are still printed newspapers as we speak. We are likely to see the same thing in that space. So ATM will be there, POS will be there, they will coexist into the future.
Well, Mr. Agbalahon Olojede, thank you for sharing your insights on the program. Well, that's how much we can take on this episode. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.